You did it?
I believe so. Oh, hell yeah, it
No.
did it.
You believe so? You hope so? You know so?
No, I did it.
All
Um,
right.
hold on, hold on. I didn't mean to put that button. Public screen. Go well. Um, I still don't see it on YouTube though. Analytics playlist content live. Oh yeah, we live on YouTube as well. It might be better for me to do it this way. There you go. Let me go straight to the video though. I want to go to the video so I can get the doggone uh channel content
Damn, now I gotta figure out what the hell I'm doing with the damn chair in my room.
options.
I don't think it's gonna fit right there again. Hell no. Boy, I need to get rid of something out of this bitch.
You'll figure it out.
Damn, now I gotta figure out what the hell I'm doing with the damn chair. So that's what the hell I'm gonna do.
Hey, we live on the tube. Come on, pick that phone up. Let's get it. It seems so far, way more far behind than the other one though. Y'all, what's happening? If y'all looking at this, man, give me just a second. I'm trying to finish setting something up, and we're gonna get into it. Y'all see the title? Y'all see the topic? Let's get to it. Going live on the book. I cut my light on. Give me some color today. So we live everywhere we go. What's good with it, world? Got a new podcast. We're gonna do this thing every Friday night about 7 ish. Uh, and we're gonna host this podcast with my partner, Yay Keys, or as I like to call him, Dunye. What Dunye Keys on the beat? You know what I'm saying? Uh, what's been up, bro? What's your day been hitting like?
Not really. Just trying to get the studio back right.
Putting everything back in place.
Oh, finally got it. Just gotta hook up my interface and everything, and I'll be finished.
That was happening. Well, today, y'all see what the title is. So today we're gonna be talking about the recording process, studio information, man. Just so y'all know what details go into a lot of this stuff, and y'all don't think we just boof our land, so to speak. But this stuff does get expensive. So you see that Cash App link below, or my Cash App name, rather. So pipe me up. Help the squad out, you know what I'm saying? Drop them coins. That PayPal thing gonna be active very, very shortly. Gotta get back in that account. And y'all drop them donations. Make sure you put what we gonna do on that one? Make sure y'all put on that Note podcast, or say Note podcast when y'all drop them cash apps, so I can keep it separate from my Stay Dangerous podcast uh, funds. So, what brought on this topic, bro? I think we talked about this last week a little bit.
Man, basically, we started off because of what we have to go through and people not realizing it, and what the set, how we have to get everything right in price and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was the original start off of it. So
Yeah, man. So we today, I think what we was planning on doing was going through and telling y'all what we do on the back end when we setting up for these studio sessions. Um, it ain't just a matter of cutting the mic on and running with it. You know what I mean? So what we gonna do is and we're just gonna break it down, keep it moving and grooving and shaking, so y'all understand the recording process. Cause I always get a lot of people say, "Hey man, you think if I go buy the equipment, could you still mix it if I record it?" Yeah, I can mix it, but what your recording gonna sound like, bro? Because you don't know what you're doing. So I'm gonna start there, or we can start there. But yeah, man. I get that question all the time, but basically what it is, man, it's more than just the mic. It's more than just the interface. It's a lot of details that go into getting sound quality to that point of what you hearing on a radio, or even just to my level. You know what I mean? It's a different process. It's different things that you have to do, and it's a must. I would say every time you set up and record, there's certain things that you just got to do to get that great recording. Number one, y'all might think it's tedious, but when we say cut off the phones, take your chains off, and you know what I'm saying, be still, especially when you in a home studio. It's very, very key that you do that, because we can pick it up in the mix, and sometimes it might mess up your take, and that might be the best take we get for you in the next hour and a half. And we don't have all day to, you know what I'm saying, just sitting there, and we ain't trying to make y'all spend a whole bunch of money just to get a good take down. Sometimes it's hard to get that take back. It's hard to get that same energy, that same breath back. And yeah, man, like we can hear things like that through these studio monitors. Now, if you don't have studio monitors, or your ears haven't been trained to that, then you're not gonna be able to hear it, and y'all just think we crazy or whatever.
exactly, every little thing count. Door closing, uh, footsteps, all that. We can hear a lot of it. Even movement of your clothes in the background. You can hear a lot of things in the mic as we recording or whatever. You might not be able to hear it, but we can hear it.
Most definitely can. Uh, so it's a difference. Every time you record it, it's a difference. Whether it's your energy, whether it's your timing, or how you take your breath on certain things. It's a different everything, man. It's hard to explain it and give y'all a clear example, but it's like you saying yo, and then coming back again and saying yo. Sounded the same to the untrained ear, but to my ear, I can hear a tone difference. I can hear a slight energy difference, meaning it ain't the same in it, is all I can say. Sometimes you're not gonna get the same thing, right? And that's good in certain ways. In some ways, it's not. Especially when we hear something, we hear it too. Like, hey, that fits or that works. This don't work, right? Or coming to the studio frustrated or drunk and all this other stuff, and you slurring your words. To you, it's gonna sound straight up front. But to us, we're gonna say, hey man, that ain't it. And you can be like, hey man, what, I did it perfect. No sir. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you want top notch quality and you want to pay people to give you top notch quality, I don't care if it's 20, 40, 50, $30, whatever, you still want that quality. And that's what I and my boy Dunye strive to do. So when you're doing this stuff, man, make sure you just, follow directions. We ain't doing it to be tedious, or, you know what I'm saying, to be aggravating. Then too, another thing is I'm gonna say this and let you jump in, bro. When y'all record, or when we record in the morning, and you be like, hey man, I'm gonna come back later and finish. If you come back at 12 o'clock, say we start recording at 9. If you come back at 2 o'clock that afternoon, your voice gonna be different. If you come back at 6 o'clock that evening, guess what? Your voice gonna be different. So you gonna say, why I sound like that? You gonna come back 2 days from now, why I sound like that? Your voice is different. It's not consistently the exact same all the time. Especially when we start making it louder and we start doing all these different EQs, your voice gonna sound tonally different. Meaning it might not be as deep or it might not be as high. It's different things like that that affect it in a major way. So y'all just keep that in mind, and let's keep this process smooth as possible.
Yeah. Because when you first in the morning, you got to think about it. You just waking up, your voice kind of raspy, and once you get on the mic, you start trying to record a track. It's gonna sound like a little deeper, a little more. But then later on during the day, as you going through your day, it's gonna sound a little lighter. It's gonna get lighter. Then at night, it's gonna sound like you know, kind of
Smart.
a sleepy motion
Smart.
or whatever.
Come on.
But when you recording, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot you gotta focus on and actually put in with it because it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Say for instance, you get in the studio, you come record, and the take is completely wrong. You say the take completely wrong. I mean, it's because your energy, like you said, your energy is totally different. If I come in do a take right now, then tomorrow I come in and do another and it's different. It can sound deeper today and lighter tomorrow. Now I'm tired. Tomorrow I could be hyped up, energized. It could be different. Like it all takes like in the mix always takes we can't just like be like, oh, for you to come to the studio and you just do it one way and be like, oh, I need you to mix. No, it's not gonna work like that. We need you to come at a certain it's how you present not present, but how you uh what's the word I'm looking for?
It's your pocket, your rhythm, and how you do it.
Yeah,
You do it different every time. You never do it the same, man. And
yeah.
that's very key. Y'all got to understand it. Some of this stuff it sound like it don't make sense, but I promise you, man, the little things make the biggest difference. The next topic we're gonna jump on pretty much is um shoot, and it was just on the tip of my tongue. Microphone distance, right? So I was trying to tilt my mic back up so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Give me just a second. Excuse the noise. All right,
Obviously, I got mine right here. If you want me to,
I got you. I wanted it up a little bit anyway. It feel better when it's up like that for some reason versus being down so low. So mic distance, right? Let me turn to the side so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. So with this microphone, if y'all guys are rapping because y'all say, "Oh, I want the energy, I want it to sound loud, I want it," let the engineer, let the producers handle that. You know what I'm saying about getting your voice to the loudest point, because all right, uh, getting your voice to the loudest point on this side, just doing the mic, ain't how you get your voice loud. It ain't turning the volumes up on this side. It's turning the volumes up through the VSTs and the different plugins, right?
yeah.
So when y'all guys are in the mic like this, we can and y'all touch this, we can hear it. You know what I mean? Or when you breathe too hard, it comes out more louder and we can't take that breath out. Sometimes we might need to take the breath out. You know what I mean? So you never
Also,
get in it like that.
also when you get too far into the mic, your voice sound a lot deeper. Like them, like your
Mm-hmm.
the lows of your voice get pretty high. Then your voice really is. Like we can hear everything and it gives a lot more vibration. So when we mix it and say for instance we add a compressor and try to add whatever we need or whatever, it can get too loud to where it's like that's like the more we try to bring your vocals up the match the mix is like it interferes with it. Like it throws it out. It throws the mix off. It throws the mix all off.
Mm-hmm.
And if you too far back, like it doesn't catch as much as it doesn't catch. So if when you come to the studio or whatever, first thing people do is they start messing with the pop filter. They start messing with that. Then they put it too close to the mic, and then it sounds different. They be like, man, why I can hear the S's and I can't hear my S's that good, my P's that good, because if you put your pop filter too close to the mic, you're not gonna get that sound. That's why the mix sound different, because y'all, when a lot of artists, when they go in the studio, they go messing with that, go adjusting the mic, like, and it throws the engineer mix off. Like, everything counts. Like you said, how far you are from the mic, how far the pop filter is, everything.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck going on. I'm gonna figure this shit out tomorrow. I know I ain't gonna do it tonight. I'm too frustrated right now, but for some reason it's on my Facebook ain't doing what it do, but YouTube and Twitch still going. So we're gonna keep rolling. I'm gonna do another background for this podcast as well. Dang, I ain't mean to exit out of that Twitch. Anyway, let's keep going. All right, so with mic distance, right? When y'all in it like this, it really, really, really it messes it up. So you kind of want to stand, I would say, about a foot back, or a good key is, pinky to thumb, about that width. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? About right there. That's cool. We can adjust from there. We can turn the volume up if we need to, or we can turn it down some. Good recordings don't come out when you turn that mic up. Good recordings come out good when the mic kind of middle ways. You know what I'm saying? Not too low, but not too high either. Because when you turn that microphone up, for y'all to just getting started, when you turn that microphone up, you also turning up the air in the background. So the still air that's just sitting around in the room, that mic is picking that up, or that motion that the artist is doing while they in the booth. You know what I mean? That air is moving around, whether you hear it or not, and it gets in that vocal, and your vocals don't come out clean and clear. So you also want to make sure you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking about something. I was just finna say, I don't forgot about it that quick.
Falling off, my brother. What you got going?
I don't know. You know, trying to put this back together got my mind kind of,
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, tonal balance and all that type of stuff like that. Like, when you come to the studio, all right, like I was saying about the pop filter, first thing people do, take the pop filter, put it up there close to the mic, and then get up, like you said, like that. Either way you go, if that pop filter is that far up to the mic, it's not gonna do anything. So if you just starting, you can do from the mic to the pop filter. You can put your fist between it, fist whip, or something like that. Like that's a good scenario of doing it. And then, like you said, from peaky to what you call it, back from the mic, you don't have to be up this close for the mic to pick you up, or be like, oh, I need to compact because the mic too loud.
Yeah.
No, you have to adjust that. You have to adjust everything. Everything has to be adjusted right. Your levels got to be peaking right and everything. Your mic got to be at a certain amount of dBs to be recorded and stuff like that. Like, you just don't come set a mic up, start recording, and then you expect your song to be number one or go this hard, or your mix to be the quality that you want. No, it takes a whole lot. So you got to think, people got to account for that, like, of how much we have to do before you even get up for setting up sessions and stuff. So sessions is not simple. You got to set up a whole mixer chain. You got to set up chains and all type of stuff like this. Like, it take a minute. Like, but as far as buffer size, you got to know buffer size, latency and stuff like that. You got to think about latency.
We ain't made it that far yet. We just going through basics right now.
You gotta throw it. Throw it in there.
Hey, but that buffer setting is something totally different as well. But we're gonna get to that because when I first started, I had a lot of issues with buffer settings, and I ain't know what the heck was going on. I was the only one in the area dealing with it that I know of, other than Luther Warlock them. But I wasn't never able to catch them to even ask them. But what I was finna say. All right. When we in the studio, dog, and y'all finish recording y'all vocals, right? The number one thing I get asked, hey man, turn it up. Give me time, bro. don't rush it to the point of we rushing something through and we not getting the quality that you want or the quality that you paid for deserve. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to sit back and let the engineer do his thing, because when we listening if we can actually keep that take, or we listening to see if we can maybe if something is bad or is a certain like clip in we can take it out. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? We just listening. First round of going through it, we're not really turning it up to make it louder. We're just listening at that point. And listening is 99.9% of this game when it comes to audio engineering. It's hearing. You know what I mean? When you hearing stuff, you can be hearing reflection off a wall sometimes when you're in these bedrooms and they're not padded right. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So what you also could be hearing is just an extra breath in the mic. And sometimes we might can punch you in and we can get that tape, pull it, you know what I'm saying? And pull the bad one out. But we got to make sure, you know what I'm saying, we able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I hope y'all understand. And we're not trying to talk down to people. We just trying to give y'all the information, man, because it's not only making your life easier, it's making ours easier too. And we want that to go smooth sailing in and out quickly.
Yeah. Man, and the question I always get asked before recording anything like that, why my voice sound like that? Both mixing anything, why I sound like that? I need to redo that, bro. Then redo it, it's gonna sound the same. Like, it's a recording. Like, how you expect for your voice to sound? Like, it hasn't been touched or anything. Like, when you start off, like, you gotta realize a lot of that. Once you realize the difference in the stuff that we have to do this to make your voice sound right and perfect, like, you'll understand the work that we come to, how much it takes, how much we have to listen to it over and over again till we get every little sound right. Everything is separate. It's not just add on, and we go from there from your recording. Your recording gotta be there. It's gotta be there. We're gonna listen to it, and if it's something we can work with, we're gonna work with it. But if it's not, we can't work with it. We gotta redo. And a lot of people get mad about that, and they get mad because you be like, man, oh, do it this way, and nah, bro, I want to sound like this. Because a lot of people be trying to mimic other rappers and stuff like that, and I mean, you can, but that's on you. For real.
What he trying to say is, say y'all come in the studio, bro, and y'all say, hey, boy, I want this track to sound like the Migos. Cool. We can get you auto-tuned up. But you would never sound like the Migos. Ever. Because the mics that they are using are $1,000 microphones. The compressors that they are using, $700-$800 compressors. Y'all don't want to pay for a $40 session. We can't afford them type of microphones, fam. and it is what it is. Some of them studio monitors in them studios are $10,000. Studio monitors for the speakers. So the sound quality that's going in those studios, you'll be hard pressed to find an engineer that can bring you that out of a bedroom for a cheap price like that. You know what I mean? I've been to the studio a couple times in the city, and a lot of the people are surprised that I'm even getting the recordings I'm getting out the bedroom. They like, how? You know what I'm saying? But what I want y'all to understand is too, man, like the time that we taking to tell y'all, hey, do this, might sound tedious, man. It might sound like, hey, I need you to pick all the green M&Ms out the M&Ms because I don't eat them. It might sound like that, but I promise you it's going to make a greater difference, especially if you're dealing with a true engineer or somebody that's actually studying the game. Now, if you, when you say I want to sound like this person or that person, what you asking for is not only the auto-tune, but what y'all don't hear is the chamber effects on the echoes, the reverbs, the tucks, the panning left and right. Like it's a lot of stuff that goes into it that make those tracks sound like that. Um, just different, you know what I'm saying? Compressors. It's not just one plug-in that you can put on the channel and get what they getting. That ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? I think y'all be having too high of expectations for some of the things that y'all want engineers to do.
Yeah. You got to think about your voice too. Your voice, you can have a real high voice, and your voice is not gonna match up the same way. Be like, I want to sound just like the Migos. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Everything is different for a reason. Everybody is different for a reason. Everybody got a different voice for a reason. Some people may sound alike, but you might not be the person that sound like that or that rapper. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got to realize that. And like you were saying with the compressors and stuff like that, it's a lot that goes into that. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe we sit for hours and hours, we can finally get to that point. But it's not gonna, even though the effects maybe somewhere the same, it's not gonna sound the same.
Nah, and then too, man, like y'all be wanting rush jobs too, man. Like get an engineer time to get it to a point where they're satisfied with, because that's that engineer's work. And not only is it that engineer's work, but it's also a reflection on you and what you spent your money on. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff, I can tell you right now that I got 3 tracks. I got 3 tracks right now that I recorded over 6 months ago, and I still don't feel like they're right. And I've mixed them 5, 6, 7 times, and I still don't feel like they're right. Just because I'm looking for a certain sound. Sometimes you have to grow with your engineering. That's what y'all. I think that's what a lot of the rap game is missing. We don't want to grow with our artists, or we don't want to grow with an engineer or a producer. I mean, if you look at the Travis Scotts, you look at the Drakes. Name me a person, and I can show you somebody that grew with their producer or their engineer, and they stayed with them for years to perfect one good sound. You know what I'm saying? And
One that it
one that works. You know what I mean? Because they probably went through a bunch of them that trash that we never seen, or heard.
exactly, and one that everybody should know. Gucci and Zato.
Jeezy and Shawty Red.
Hey, oh, but
I can go for
I,
days. Brian Michael Cox and Jagged Edge.
yeah,
Uh, Jermaine Dupri and Bow Wow. Jermaine Dupri and the Brat. Jermaine Dupri and Escape. Like
exactly.
we could go on for days. Master P and KLC. Uh, we can keep going. Diddy and what was the name of his production company with Ratface? That's all I can remember his name was. Stevie J them. Uh, they ran the charts from the 90s to the early 2000s. They literally ran the charts. If you go look at the catalog, Diddy put them together. Stevie J, I can't remember. But I'm telling y'all, grow with be patient enough to grow with the producer. Be patient enough to grow with your engineer, and you know what I'm saying. You're gonna eventually get to that level. You're gonna get that. You're gonna get that work done, man. What's some other stuff that you get asked, bro?
You said what?
I said, what's some other stuff that you get asked?
Man, why you ain't got no auto tune? Why you ain't got a lot of auto tune on it? Like, I literally got that question asked. Man, I need more auto tune. Man, why you can't put that much auto tune? How much auto tune you don't want? It's at the highest setting. Like, I be getting crazy questions. And they be like, why you ain't got that much reverb on it, bro? You don't need too much. You don't need all that. Like, I mean, but if you want it, okay, I'll do it. But it don't really need that type of stuff. Like that's what, and reverb can destroy distort your vocals out too. Too much reverb can distort your vocals out too. Like it drowns it.
Yeah, it overlaps it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I get questions. Hey man, that compressor on there, that this on there. Like, what do you know about it? Like, you might know it's supposed to go on there, but do you know how high it's supposed to be turned up, or what lowest setting is supposed to be turned on to get
And
that?
and the main question, what does it do?
Yeah, like we can't. Some of that stuff we can't explain literally because it's like there's no words outside of the engineering world that can explain what certain plugins do. Like, and reverbs just ain't man. It's like so many different reverbs out there made by so many different companies, and they all sound slightly different than others. So when y'all be asking us to get the exact, hey man, I want mine to sound exactly like this. Hey bro, we don't even know what settings they got used on this plugin, so we can't. Even if we
Exactly.
got the same plugin, there's no guarantee that we can dial it up right.
Exactly. That's just like Waves. Waves got what, three, four different compressors, I think.
They got more than that.
Yeah, they got more than that, and I got a
Mm-hmm.
few, but still, everything matters. Everything, as far as dialing, everything matters from threshold, everything else. It ain't gonna get that same effect. I mean, I can take a vocal template from somebody else and put it on mine with the same effects, and it's not gonna sound the same.
Exactly.
Every mix is different. So you got to give us that. You got to give us that. You got to give us that. Cause we put our time and effort and stuff enough to do this. You got to give us the time. Just like now, I've been mixing one, two, three songs from a session I had 2 weeks ago, almost every day now, just because I want it perfect. And another sent in, I've been mixing it almost every day now because I want it perfect. Cause
Yeah.
that right there, it puts out putting out my work and my name. I don't want a bad name out there. I put some song, I mix it, put it out there, then I get a bad name because I didn't put the time into it that I should.
Exactly. Exactly, fam. I be telling people that, man, don't rush me, bro. I'm gonna get it to you when I get it to you, cause if I get it to you too fast, first thing I say, oh man, he ain't that fast. What you mean? You told me you wanted it. We recorded it tonight at 9 o'clock. You leave at 12, and you want it tomorrow by 9 a.m. Bruh, come on, fam. I ain't gonna work like that.
It's not. Then I be hate when they take the recording and they be like, "Hey man, send me the raw edit." I hate that, like, because then they start playing. Because most people that ain't, they gonna be like, "Oh, that's all he can do." That first people start jumping to conclusion, be like, "Oh man, I don't think you need to record him no more." Man, and then most time they gonna listen, even though the song ain't even mixed yet. They still gonna listen.
Mm-hmm.
I done had that done before. That's why I be
Yep.
like, just give me my time, just give me my patience. I got you. Let me mix it. Let me go in and get you right, and I'm gonna send it to you when it's done.
That's why I be telling people, they were like, hey man, send it to me. I say, what I'm finna send to you is something for you to listen to. I even type it in the email sometimes. Just something to listen to, bro, cause it we can turn it up now and it sound good while we in the studios, but there's such thing, it's called ear fatigue. Right? It's like looking at something too long, it's like running too far and you out of breath, our ears fatigue as well. Meaning our ears starting to perceive something too loud or it might be too soft and we give it an extra boost. And so that's why it's good for, some engineers to come back 2-3 days later and touch a mix if that's what they want to do. Or, you know what I'm saying, you might mix it this morning and then the night I'm gonna come back in and just listen to it to see where it's at and might make some adjustments then listen to it with fresh ears, you know what I mean? So you can pick up different details and things like that.
Yeah, and then one moment you never know, like you said, and then in the morning you might be like, oh man, this track sound hard. Then that night you listen to it, be like, yeah, I'm finna remix this whole thing. You be like, man, I feel like it's missing something. I need to start all the way over. Like, and that
Mm-hmm.
happens a lot repeatedly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, y'all wouldn't believe sometimes, and we question ourselves a lot of the times too, man, about, hey, is this right or is this gonna make it better? We have to sit there like you were saying, people talking about add reverb. Sometimes we can add reverb and that reverb will overlap over words behind it and we can't correct it. And y'all be like, well, why it sound like that? Because you might not hear it on these speakers or sometimes you might not even hear it in the car. But if somebody play it in a different studio that's a sound treated room, you gonna hear it. If somebody play it in the club, you can be like, dang, why that song sound like that? It's cause you didn't let us do what we want to do and you trying to be the engineer and you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Is that,
It's,
man? I don't have. Oh, I'm glad you said that. And just like a session I had one day, it was a pull up session, so I came, pulled up, did the session or whatever. Man, the whole time he over my shoulder, add that right there. And so this your very first time recording the song, very first time. The only thing you know about is reverb because you don't see me done it before.
yeah.
So when you over my shoulder and telling me what to put on tracks and stuff like that, what to do like that, man, like that's annoying. Like, and I'm not finna do it. I'm not, because you're not finna have my name out there. being slandered and stuff like that. Oh man, that man, he don't know what he doing, man. Man, hey, come on over here to so and so, so and so. But you also got engineers that will just do what you say, or just put mix, do a simple mix, and just let you put it out there like that. Like,
Shoot, I try to sometimes because sometimes the artist hears something that we don't necessarily hear, and we don't might feel like it can't work. But
yeah,
I had a guy come in the studio one time. He recording, hey man, put this on there. I know that's what Jay-Z gonna be using because that's why they went to London and recorded that song. What? What? I said, bro, this ain't supposed to be used for vocals because it said British EQ something, but that type of British EQ, I like using that more for I think I was using it for bass lines at the time before I start using it on vocals because it I don't know, like tonally it did something to the basses versus the vocals that I didn't like. I like using the CLA vocals
yeah,
sometimes they do real good for vocals. And I was like, nah, that ain't the one I want to use for vocals. Sometimes engineers have preferences. You like smoking Zaza or Babby. You know what I'm saying? You can't make somebody, hey man, I want to smoke
man,
this. It don't work like that
exactly.
sometimes, bro. We have preferences. You know what I'm saying? So when we have preferences, let us work with our preferences, because sometimes our ears are trained to hear something different in an EQ or a different plug-in. Like waves gonna sound different than that other one. What's the other one everybody be using? One you
Fat,
use them.
fast.
Yeah, the fab filters. It's gonna
Yeah,
sound different, even though it's gonna say the exact same thing. It's gonna be the
it's gonna sound.
exact same
It's
plug-in.
gonna sound
It sounds totally,
totally
totally
different.
different, bro. Like for real. Like the tones, some
And
of it sound warmer. Hey, that's what I meant to say. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna take a step back and go back to the compressors. Like y'all ain't understanding what these compressors do. So from the microphone, most studios run them directly in the compressors, and then from the compressors run them into the boards, right? So these compressors, they add different tones to your voice. It warms it up. It can dull it out. It can make it that much more crisper and that much more cleaner. And what a compressor does, just imagine, imagine this remote right here, right? And compression will squeeze this remote down. I know y'all can't see it, but compression will squeeze this remote down like this. And even though it sounds louder, the more you compress it, the more you can distort vocals. So when y'all be talking about, hey man, put the compressor on it. I don't put a little bit more on there, bro. It's a limit to everything. We
exactly, it's all about
cannot
your
compress
ear.
that stuff that hard. You know what I mean? Like
It's
when you
gonna,
listen back to them songs in the 2000s, if y'all go back that far, listen to them songs in the 2000s, and you hear them, they sound so distorted because my home studios had just started popping. You hear a lot of distortion in those records, and you can be like, dang, it don't sound right. It's because it's distorted. It was recorded too loud, or somebody turned it up and burnt you a CD. Things of that nature. You know what I mean? So that's what compression does. Yes, compression can make it louder, but what it does, it takes the highest point of your vocals and it takes the lowest point in some vocals and try to make it the same. So it try to even it out. You know what I'm saying? And that can create digital distortion. So
yeah,
that's
man. I don't been. A dude called me one time, say he needed me to do a track, mix a track. He done already mixed it. This man literally had auto tune on the beat too. He did. He made the beat too. He had auto tune on the beat.
what?
Yes. I
For
said, what this plug in do? He told me, oh, it make it do it. Bruh, that's a drum. That's a drum line. Why is the auto tune on your hi hats? Like, I hate that. Just like, and to say that, that's just like somebody taking out a motor in the car halfway, and then you get another mechanic come to do. Don't know what they got going on. You got to figure out what you got to start at, what to do. I don't
yeah,
like coming behind nobody messy mixes and trying to redo everything. I mean, like, I can understand, like, say for instance, me and you in the studio together, we both mixing on the track, stuff like that. That's different. But when you
yeah,
go to one studio and then bring it to another studio, that they send over the files and stuff, and then try to mix it and stuff like that, and you be like, why is this there? Why is that there? Then a lot of times, I don't been in predicaments where people sent me vocals with effects already on them, and then sending a song to be mixed when it's already mixed down to an MP3.
Oh my God, bruh. Jesus. Listen, y'all. I had a couple people hit me up. Hey man, can you mix this song down for me? I said I can mix whatever you want down. All right, I'm gonna send you the file for it. Stop. Pause. Hold up. One file? Yeah, I got it on CD a couple years ago. I can't mix that. What you mean? I can't mix that. I can't mix your vocals and the beat on the same track. It's not gonna happen, fam.
At
It
all.
it's not gonna happen. The best thing that we can probably do is turn up the treble and turn up the bass. And guess what that causes? Distortion. It could be too loud. It can be too low. You know what I mean? Like we can do different things to it, but it's very, very, very limited on what we can do to your tracks. Now, if you say, hey, I'm gonna send you a session, cool. You ain't necessarily got to send me the whole session, just send me the stem files. And like he was saying, make sure there's nothing on those stem files. Because you gonna send something to us, and once it's already got a reverb on it or something like that, it ain't too much more we can do to it. Because if we start adding certain things, change the it's gonna change the process in which it comes in. So running our vocal chains, that's something I want to hit on. We need to hit on that. It's about time to get up off there. So a vocal chain is, let's say we got the alphabet on a channel rate, right? So let's just say the vocal chain is on this piece of paper.
ABCD.
Is on this piece of paper, and this is a vocal chain, right? And it starts A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you take any of those plugins and rearrange them, then your vocal also changes. So when you go into somebody's studio and you like, man, why he mixing mine off a template? It saves that engineer time, but that engineer also already have everything set up to where he don't have to do as much. So that's why a lot of these major studios, they can move a little bit faster because they're moving off their own templates. No, it's not cheating you out of your sound, but it's that engineer able to get to his good spot in a mix before he say it's done. So while you in the studio with them, they can go ahead and rearrange and move stuff around and be like, okay, I got the vocal sounding like I need to. Let me handle my reverbs and my delays. So then they go handle their reverbs and their delays in that process. And what they're doing is they're breaking down their process to different steps so they can actually get to that finished product quicker. So it might not be a week, but it might be 2 days. That's a lot quicker than a week if I go in there and I set up a totally different template and got to start from scratch. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to set up them reverbs and delays, especially if you don't do it like that all the time. It get hard to memorize it because it's a digital program. It ain't like we can unplug something and move it. We have to like really make sure everything is routed to the same thing. It can get confusing at times.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the stem files jump. I done had somebody come to me and say, man, well, so and so did it, man. Why you can't? Nah, so and so did not do that. He did not mix off of one track. And don't
Nah,
even go, don't even
he
shout out
told
for
you
that.
that. He told you that.
Yeah, he told you that, but he didn't do that. Like, but everything does make a difference. And then ain't nobody trying to cheat you out your sound, nothing like that. It's all about whatever engineer you go to has their own work ethic. They have their own works
flow
that works for them. They motion that works for them. Like me and you might start off with, oh, I want to find say somebody come in with autotune. Oh, I want to find the key to the autotune first, then start from there. Or you got somebody be like, or me, or I start with the EQ and start EQing the vocal out, then add autotune, then put the autotune back up or whatever. You know, like people have different steps. Like if you come in and say, be like, oh, I got a vocal chain on my flash drive or something like that. Okay, I mean, it's something to work with. It's something to send me with order yours in, but I'm gonna replace every order that yours in with my um the plugin that I like to use that I feel is more worthy for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
say yours start off what you got a compressor, EQ, and probably what? Let me see, you got fab plugins on there, and I might want to use waves because I'm more familiar with waves, so I'm gonna change it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the same order, but I'm gonna use waves. It's all about the work ethic of the engineer, producer, whatever you want to call it. But it's a total, and just to let y'all know, a lot of people don't know it's a whole difference between a producer and an engineer.
Most definitely.
You got you got people that's both. You got people that's one. If you're a producer, you're not an engineer. If you're an engineer, you're not a producer. But you can be both. You can be both. Cause I do both. I produce
But
and engineer.
but it takes time, and that's one thing y'all gotta understand. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time to learn that stuff. I know some people that still be, hey, boy, I can engineer. Okay, then let me hear something you did, and I listen to it. All right, you need a little bit more work though, Playboy. That ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? I had somebody to bust my bubble like that, dealing with a guy, and thought I got the song mixed, mastered, everything. Went to running around the city, ran into some people. They was like, "Hey, bro, song fire, and that beat hard. It don't sound right." What you mean? I said, "I got it mixed and mastered." He shook his head. He said, "No, you didn't." He said, "It's a hellified mix on it, but it ain't mastered." And I said, "What's the difference?" It's my first time learning. He sat me down. He said, "Listen to your song." And we listened to my song, and then he put another song on. He said, "What's the difference?" I said, "Major difference." It is a difference, bro. Like, we can get these songs radio ready out the studio, but when somebody asks you, is it mastered? That's why I tell people, I can master your junk, but I ain't a mastering engineer.
Me
I'm,
either.
you know what I'm saying? It might sound better. It don't mean technically it's better. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's all about preference. And that's what the studio sessions and works are about, man. They're about preference, about getting things done, in and out, and then you good. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, man, just be patient with your engineer. Find you one engineer, one producer to stick with. Uh, know the process that you're dealing with, man, and get it done for real, for real.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like you gotta think. You gotta take everything in consideration and think about it. Like you can't just jump in and just go for it and just be like, yeah, this and that. What. You gotta think about the engineer. You gotta think about the producer. You gotta think about everybody in the mix in the middle of the whole situation.
Mm-hmm. And stop
So,
bringing a shit ton of people to the studio.
oh yeah, I was thinking about that in the beginning of the
Yeah.
topic, but that make a lot because you get distracted quick with that.
Yeah,
Two people get quick
bring the people
distracted.
that's needed. Bring the people that's needed.
Yeah,
Bring the people that's needed, and only the people that is needed. Uh,
exactly.
like for real, for real. Yeah, man, that's about it though, man. We finna get up out of here. I'm finna go show some love to my folks, man. Dealing with death in the family, so finna get activated, lifted, and all that situations. You feel me?
Yeah. I'm finna go in here, find me something to eat, finish this studio, and see what comes up after that.
Yeah, man. A loop pack. Uh, Give me a couple weeks, it'll be done. My boy Dunye working on a. You doing the beat pack first? I mean the drum pack first, or you gonna do the loops?
I think I'm actually working on both of them at the same time, so
Anyway,
either one.
that'll take after Christmas. So
Yeah.
it'd be hard to stay focused though, man. I know I ain't the only person that do it, boy. You be running 2, 3, 4 things at one time. But next week we're gonna come back with another episode and we're gonna keep this junk going every Friday. Like I said, loop packs on the way, drum packs on the way, and we both gonna deliver them right here. We're gonna be dropping the links in the chat, giving exclusive offers, etc., etc., etc. Blase, blase, blah. This is On the Note podcast. So it's different from the Stay Dangerous podcast. So on that note, on this podcast, we're going to be talking about the versus battles. We're going to be talking about anything doing with music. We're going to jump back and forth from albums. We might even do a live cook-up one night. I'm going to see how that's going to work. Got to figure out how to set that up. But maybe I can make the loop or something and send it to you and you do the drums.
Man, I could just pop up. Man, you know me. I probably just pop up and we just, just
Cook
go
up.
from there. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. We can do it like that, man. But we're going to get up out of here, man. On that note podcast, I go by the name of DJ 912.
And Dunye.
You know what I'm talking about? Don't Dunye sound so professional? You feel me? Dunye on the keys, man, on that note podcast. We're going to be jumping back in next week. I don't know what the topic is yet, but I'll make sure I drop it on the channel. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe.